In this video, we're going to take a look at the color tinting options within Adobe Premiere that can be applied to any media that we have on our timeline. Within this technique, you can either select a color from the palette or you can select a color from within the media on the timeline. So we'll take a look at how this works. We start here with full color on this particular clip. It'll transition to green and then back to full color. So with this particular example here, we have not only a color change, but we also have keyframes. So let's take a look at kind of the process of how that works. So the first step in the process is select our media and put it onto the timeline like we traditionally have always done. And we can do the color change and the color tinting for the entire clip or a portion of it. So we'll kind of walk you through both of those options. So the first way we're going to do that is just do a color tint for the entire clip. So once we have our clip selected, we'll come over to our effects control and then we'll go to video effects, use the little caret key for the drop down, and then we're going to go to color correction and click on the little drop down, and then we're going to select our tint, click and drag onto our clip. If your clip somehow deselects, make sure that you select it so you know which clip you're working on, and then you're going to have an additional level down here called tint on your effects control panel. So for instance, if it comes up defaulted to where everything is small and you don't see it, as long as you see the word tint there, you can do the drop down and make those particular changes. If the control panel isn't showing, just remember you can select it across the top, or the little caret drop down you can select effects control. So here's how the process works for the color tinting. So once our clip is selected and we're in our effects control panel, we can clip on matte to white in the box, and then we can make a selection of any color that we want. So for instance, on my previous example I did green. This one I'm going to go ahead and select a red color, so I'll just pick this color here as an option and then click OK. So what that's done is it's applied the red tint to the entire length of the video clip. So if we wanted that feature to occur for the entirety of the clip, we would be done at that particular point. But if we wanted this red to transition in to our clip and be full color at the beginning and at the end, we'll use those keyframe options to allow that to happen. So in order to do so with our cursor, the first thing I'm going to do is select the point at which I want the clip to be entirely the color. So for instance, this case is red. And then I'm going to come over here to the stopwatch next to amount of tint, and I'm going to go ahead and click that, and it's going to collect it and create a keyframe. So at this point forward, the video will be keyed to red. So the next thing I need to do is drag my cursor back where I want the transition to start, going from full color to red. So once I mark that point, I'll come over here to where it says 100%, and I'll delete that out, and I'll put in 0. So what happens is at this point, at this keyframe, everything before it is going to be full color, and everything after is going to be that transition time to where we're full red and full red for the remainder of the clip. So if I want at this point to transition from full red back to color, I can copy my keyframe by clicking on it and hitting Control-C on the keyboard and then Control-V. And then it creates a second keyframe there, and then I can pull forward to where I want it to go back to full color, selecting again the 0, and then I have my transition period. So when I watch this clip in its entirety, it is back to our example. We started with green, but instead of this case it's red, and so it scrolls through, transitions to red, and transitions back to color. And then once again, our green example there, kind of the same process. So if I want to make this transition faster or slower, I can pull this keyframe closer together. So this will make the transition go much faster. So from full color to red, it goes much faster. I can take those keyframes and almost drag them on top of each other to where it's almost an instant cut from color to red. And then, of course, the transition back. So that is the process for using the color tint on Adobe Premiere. You can also do some advanced options where you can use multiple colors in that process if you so choose as well.